Welcome Exiles to my League Start plans for Scourge League, which is going to be a Trickster Righteous Fire character. I got excited about Trickster with the Heartstopper change. This isn't something that really matters for the vast majority of Tricksters. For the most part, there are a lot of people being like, this node sucks, and for the most part, it does, except for the scenario, which is Righteous Fire. And people look at it like, oh, it doesn't matter because you want to have sustain during every second anyways. 5 seconds of not taking damage doesn't matter. But the way I look at it is it's 5 seconds of just amazing sustain when you're way over sustaining. That way, if you're getting hit or hurt during the 5 seconds you don't have this, the 5 seconds you do have this, you're just going right back to full really fast because you have to deal with no degen whatsoever. I also like it because it interacts with the new Keystone, Leth? Shade? I don't know how you say it. But the way this works is when your 5 seconds of damage immunity to Righteous Fire turns off, you will then begin to take Righteous Fire, and it will turn on Leth's Shade, which will give you another second of 50% reduction on your damage over time. This pretty much means there's about a 4 second out of a 10 second span where you're actually taking damage or you're actually kind of vulnerable to Righteous Fire, whereas the other 6 seconds, it's just over sustain, you're just feeling good. And it also means you can start with Righteous Fire pretty early on and do well with it. So I was excited to build around that with Trickster. I've always liked Trickster for Righteous Fire Ascendancy. One of the things it lacked was it lacked sustain during a boss fight, and this kind of gives it the sustain it needs during a boss fight. So I'm excited to build around it, and eventually, after going through a life-based build with it, I'm going to transition it into a Shadow Stitch because I'm excited to build around Shadow Stitch with all the new abilities to corrupt items safely, and not only corrupt them safely, but potentially make really good corruptions with the Scourge mechanic. I'm just excited to play with that sort of stuff. So I'm going to start out life-based, and then I'm going to transition it into energy shield-based. Now, because this is my League Start build, and if people wanted to play this on a League Start, or they wanted to play the Inquisitor Righteous Fire, I went ahead and wrote down my general game plan for the build, like how I'm going to progress the character, as well as early items I would look for myself. Everything, whenever I do a League Start, these are always kind of the key items I look for. I'm always looking for example, Pyre Rings early on. They give us res, they give us nice damage. I look for things like the Oak or Rise of the Phoenix, just a really cheap shield that gives you a ton of sustain. You look for just rares with life and resistances. These are always kind of my go-tos on an early League Start with Righteous Fire, so figured I'd write that stuff down, go over my general plan for gem links and stuff like that. So hopefully this will just give you a good idea of key things to be looking for on a League Start with Righteous Fire. I talk about when I'm going to switch over into Righteous Fire. I'm going to probably do it on the first lab. I am planning to start out with the Heartstopper, and I think between that, Vitality, Purity of Fire, I should be able to sustain Righteous Fire on level 30 or whenever I get the first lab, and I'm excited to do that. And then later on, we'll get things like Patient Reaper for the second lab, Prolonged Pain for the third lab. Those are all great stuff. And Swift Killer for the fourth lab. All a bunch of nice damage and sustain from Trickster. And then eventually when I go to switch over into an Energy Shield base with Shadow Stitch, I will probably be doing this, going to Escape Artist. And so that's my general plan, and I'm excited to do that. So figured I would share that if anyone else is interested in maybe messing around with a Shadow Stitch Trickster or a Trickster Energy Shield base. That's my plan of what I'm going to be doing with this build. So I will try to make some update videos on this when I can. I'm not sure how much time I'm going to get to play the League Start, or I just wanted to say hi. He came over and he was sitting behind me, but I'm not sure how much time I'm going to get to play with the League Start with Baby Lance and little baby Charlotte. But when I do get chances to make updates on my progress of the build, stuff like that, I will try to make videos on that. So that way, if you want to follow this build, you have a timeline of, okay, after day 1 he had this gear, after day 2 he had this, so on and so forth. And anyways, that's my plan for the League Start. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy Scourge League as well. And you guys take care. See you in the next one. Peace out. One more thing I forgot to go over. I haven't done this in the past, or I don't know if I have or not, but I tried to go ahead and include leveling trees. So if you wanted to follow along and have a good idea of what passives to grab when, I try to point out when I prioritize things on the passive tree so you can go through and you can follow along and have a good idea of when to spec things, because I'm not going to be able to stream it and be able to say, if you come into stream, I'm not going to be able to say, hey, you should take these passives. You're just going to have to work with what I have here on the POB if you wanted to try this. So anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later.